Come on. Come on, encoding server. You can do this, encoding server. I believe in you. Connected and connected. Beautiful. Marvelous. Wonderful, even. Okay. Connected and connected. You're just joining me here. I'm just getting set up right now. I'll be starting here in just a few moments. Boop, boop, doo. So you will see me looking at screens just to make sure things are working. Okay. That is working, in fact. Beautiful. That's working. What about something else is working? I'm just checking everything, making sure it's working. All right. And yeah, I can see your guys' chats. I don't have them up on screen at the moment. I don't know if I'll have them on screen today, but I can see your guys' chit chats from right here, at least right now on locals and on YouTube. Hi, everybody. I'm gonna be changing the schedule for today a little bit. Shoot. What a friggin' day. It's a friggin' day, man. Let me see here. You guys are rocking out there. That looks good. I like all of that. That's solid. Beautiful. Beautiful, marvelous, and lovely. Seriously, huge tragedy about Charlie. I got feelings. I got feelings. Let me get some stuff up and rocking here. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm gonna modify the golly, man. I had a whole plan for today. I had a whole friggin' plan. Here, let me bring this up over here actually. No, not that one I want. I had a whole plan where I was, let me go, yes, enter here. Oh, that's much better. Now I can see you guys over here. That's way better. Better. I had a whole plan. I had a whole plan is the long and short of it. You can see it up on the screen right now. We had a whole friggin' plan and I gotta modify it. So here was my thoughts. I've been ready to do live streaming again for a little bit. You guys have seen that the video came back, and it was time to get live streaming going again. I've been working out some details around it and actually working out a couple of fun guests over the next couple of weeks. And I'm like, this will be fun. I want to get back into live streaming because I like hanging out with you guys. It's fun. And where is this? Sorry, I'm figuring a few things out as we go here. Oh, I see. Got it. And as we and part of the whole idea behind me coming back to doing live streaming was not really to take over the place of any of the recorded shows. In fact, we'll record some of the regular recorded shows during the live stream, so that's great. But I also wanted to add in some just kind of fun hanging out stuff that we could do, because there's been so much in the news. I wanted to bring back some good happy times, and so part of what we were going to do today is we were going to hang out and have a watch along together with some old Computer Chronicles. After we finish doing a few shows, we're going to have a little nerdy Q&A and all that. We were going to watch the Unix episode of Computer Chronicles from 1986. I haven't watched that episode in years and years, and I remembered many years back, I had the chance to talk for an extended period of time with Stuart Chaffee, who hosted and ran the Computer Chronicles. And I remember at the time, he mentioned that he had worked with the Internet Archive to make sure as many Computer Chronicles episodes as possible were archived, so people could continue to enjoy them. And he kind of liked when people were talking about them and showing them and whatnot. And so I felt like I kind of got the thumbs up from him to do kind of a watch along of some old Computer Chronicles episodes. And I thought that how fun for us to get together and do that. And I thought, man, I couldn't imagine a more fun one to start out with than the 1986 Unix episode, because it's got people from Sun, it's got people from Hewlett Packard. I mean, it's so old school. It's just this old school Unix episode, and I thought for all of us that would just be just a ridiculously joyful episode to watch together and reminisce about the past and all that sort of thing. But considering the news, I think we're going to have to go ahead and change that. We'll bump that to the next time we do one of these. We are going to need to start today by talking about this story. That one. And the open source leftists celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk. Uh, I, yeah, we have to talk about this. I don't really want to talk about this. It doesn't sound great to talk about this, but we need to do it. We need to do it just the same. I mean, it has to be done. It absolutely has to be done. And that really sucks, and I dislike it tremendously. And what are you gonna do, though? I mean, it's I don't know what the heck else are you gonna do, right? Stuff happens, and we need to cover this sort of thing. There's crazy stuff going on in the world, and we can't just not talk about it. You know what I mean? I mean, we have to cover it, and I just don't think there's any way around it. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that today. Let me get this set up right here real quick. There it is, and we'll rock and roll with this. Truth be told, I need to talk about this today. This is something that I need to go over, that I need to spend time thinking about, because it's just the worst. I mean, it's just the worst. You know what I mean? I don't. Yeah. So let me get this up. Oh, Greg says, for what it's worth, you're still not showing up on Rumble. For real? Let me pull this up here. Yeah. You're absolutely right. It's not showing up on Rumble. We got, I think there's a grand total of about 500 people watching the show right now, but none of them are on Rumble. Here, let me pull this up. Let me see if there's something I need to click on. Let me click on a thing and click on a thing. Here's what's crazy. It literally shows me in my dashboard that I am live on Rumble right now. It literally, truly, absolutely shows me live on Rumble right now. I don't know what else I can do about that. Oh, that's lame. That's lame, and I don't like it. That's lame, and I don't like it, and it's dumb, and it's stupid. But what are you going to do, It's lame and it's dumb. What's funny is we're using Rumble Studio right now to stream this out to everybody, because it allows me to multi-stream to X and Locals and YouTube and everywhere else. But the one place it's not showing up is Rumble. What are you gonna do? That's retarded. That's fargin' retarded. Here, let me click on it, something over here real quick. Yeah, that looks right. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Uh, okay, good. Let me pull this up here. So yeah, it's lame. It's lame and it's dumb. Yeah, I like that old CRT look too. Cool retro term is the best, man. It's fantastic. It's just absolutely the best. All right, here, let me set up the show thing here. So here's what we're gonna do. Those shows that you see over here, we're gonna go through those. The open source leftist thing because it's annoying as hell, and then we're gonna touch on the frack North Korea story, and we're gonna talk about the leaks we got out of Red Hat and IBM yesterday. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but we're gonna be talking about those because man. Holy heavens, have I gotten a lot of leaks lately? I have been a leaky guy. I've been leaking all over the place, and it's not just the gray hairs that sort of leaky. It's full on. I'm getting leaks from a bunch of different companies, and it's amazing. It's almost too much this week. Like there's more than I can kind of handle with all of it. I don't know what to do with all that. But that's all there is to it. So we're going to talk about that, and then I want to do a Q&A with all of you guys. So we'll do some shows. We'll do them together. You guys can watch, hang out, chat with each other while you watch me do some shows live. The shows that we do are going to be recorded and published for everyone else, and then we'll do a Q&A afterwards where you can ask me whatever you want, and we can hang out for a little bit, vent, have some fun, try and shake off the awfulness of the day a little bit. I should say that if you feel like subscribing, do so. I don't really feel like doing a whole lot of self-promotion today. It's not a good self-promotion day. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing it. Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe to my stuff. I originally had set a goal of trying to get 5 new subscribers during the live stream. Subscribe, sure. go to lunduke.com and subscribe. I'm not going to really talk about that too much more today. I don't feel like it. There's too many stories, and they're just way too deep and heavy, and I'm not up for that. All right, let me type this title out here, and then we'll do the first show. Open source leftists. God, I hate this headline. Celebrate murder of Charlie Kirk. Gosh. It's just the most awful headline. I really, really hate it. I just hate it so much. Okay. Let's slide this back in there. And then there we go. Let's go like this. Let me modify this text here real quick. Ugh. Yuck. Awful. Terrible. What a terrible day. What a truly terrible day. Okay. Yeah, there's the self-promotion page. It's gone. Can you guys hear me okay? Someone says voice gone. I wasn't talking for a second. I was typing and thinking. Oh man. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this up. Where's my Dealy Whopper? Where's the Dealy Whopper? I found you, Dealy Whopper. There we go. Good gravies. Audio is good. Audio is fine. We can hear you. Aye, aye. Fantastic. I love it. Damn it. Yeah. All right. I need some soda in me to do this nonsense. Today is not a terribly fun day. Just in the last few hours, Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. What I want to talk about is not the assassination, the murder of Charlie Kirk, because there's a lot of people who knew Charlie. I didn't know Charlie. I respected Charlie. I was impressed by Charlie, but I didn't know him. So I'll leave talking about the event and the legalities of it and everything else to a lot of people who are better equipped to talk about that than me. What I want to talk about is the reaction by the extreme leftists within big tech and open source to the murder of Charlie Kirk. Because it was swift and it was disgusting. It was awful. And it's still ongoing as we sit here and talk. I mean, because all of this is just unfolding as we speak. They're going nuts. And you can guess how it's happening over on Mastodon, the social network from hell. So when I heard the news that Charlie Kirk had been shot, I was taken aback because there's just been way too much of this. There's been way too much of this sort of thing. It's been awful, and it's just been awful. And once I kind of wrapped my head around it, before we learned that he had been murdered, that he had passed away, I immediately thought, and I hate that I had to immediately think this, the crazies of open source were going to love it. I immediately thought, you know what? If I go over to the various forums and mailing lists and Mastodon and Blue Sky and everything else, I'm going to find that they absolutely are over the moon about Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck. And I had to stop myself for a minute because I didn't want to go check. Because I knew as soon as I checked, as soon as I loaded up Mastodon or the various forums or the Discord channels or anything like that, I knew it would suddenly become a real thing that I would then have to talk about. But this is my job. My job is covering these people because the rest of the tech journalists aren't going to do it. So I went to Mastodon. I loaded up a couple of Discord servers and it was just as awful as I thought it could be. And it sucks that it's gotten to a point where we just assume the extreme leftists of open source are not only advocating for violence and murder, they're celebrating it. I'm just going to show you a little bit of it. Because honestly, they're really awful. Here's one from Carol Herbst. Posted this immediately after, like minutes after the news got out, like right after the news got out that Charlie Kirk had been shot in the neck. When behavior has consequences. Now, who's Carol Herbst? Carol Herbst is an employee of Red Hat is on the Code of Conduct Committee, the behavior enforcers of the Free Desktop organization, is one of the primary driving forces of kicking out the developer of Hyperland from the Free Desktop organization, of trying to destroy Xorg, of trying to censor anyone who talks about Ex Libre. I mean, this person is an extremist activist, and has advocated for violence in the past. And lo and behold, someone gets shot in the neck. Well, if that person isn't exactly in line with Carol Herbst's own declaration of what people should feel and think and vote for, Carol Herbst celebrates it. Here's Tom. Tom, the editor-in-chief over at osnews.com, started posting several posts, generally talking about Charlie Kirk getting shot, with a lot of his followers celebrating it, and smiley faces and criticisms of all these sorts of people. More on him in a minute, because he posted a bunch of stuff. Other people, let's beeping go, yeah. OMG, they shot Charlie Kirk, LMAO. Here's what Tom over at OS News decided to post. This is his response to someone getting shot that he doesn't like. If two bodies exert forces on each other, these forces have the same magnitude but opposite directions. I don't know. I found myself thinking of Newton's third law just now. Shruggy emoticon-y thing. I'm trying not to get super pissed off. I'm trying to channel my inner Fred Rogers right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm mad. Fascist down, I repeat, fascist down. Couldn't have happened to a worse dude. Charlie Kirk was shot, and that is as much as I care to express about that. I have all the sympathy for Charlie Kirk that he would extend to me were I shot, says man who wants to be a woman over on Mastodon. Rest in piss, Charlie Kirk. I want to see that woman's video. Looks like Donnie is standing there making face at them. Meanwhile, right-wing asshat Charlie Kirk has been shot. While I don't approve of making martyrs of these beeps, I'm sure if he survives, he'll milk it for all it's worth. I cannot stomach the empathy coming from liberals about Charlie Kirk. It reminds me of the kind of crap they said after the fake Trump assassination attempt. Charlie Kirk was a white Christian nationalist. Quite bluntly, there need to be less of those in the world. Ideally, they change their minds, but history supplies examples of other methods. Charlie Kirk has been put down and nothing of value was lost. Wikipedia editors are all racing to be the first to was Charlie Kirk. Says the person with the trans flag emoji. Charlie Kirk got shot while talking about gun violence. He's for more of it, so kudos to him for walking the walk. I still hope he's dead, though, because he is a terrible person. I don't think Charlie Kirk got shot. I think his head just did that, says, again, man who thinks he's a woman. I mean, it goes on and on like this. God, I hope so. I know it's awful to think this place, but they're already upset about trans shooters, blah, 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 blah. Charlie Kirk is horrible. Charlie Kirk is dead. You may all celebrate accordingly. I suggest popping a bottle of champagne or going out for a fancy dinner. Charlie Kirk is dead. Ding dong, the wicked beep is dead. Poetic that Kirk seems to have been snarky about gun violence when he was killed. I'd like to think that the shooter in the crowd wasn't even planning anything, but then saw Kirk standing there talking about how gun violence isn't a big deal and how gun deaths are an acceptable price to pay for upholding the Second Amendment, and thought, okay, I have the opportunity to do the funniest thing right now. Don't do murder, but never feel bad about being happy about a fascist death. And here's a developer of some mod software. Oh God, what was this mod software called? I wrote it down here. Let me pull this up so I can show you guys. There's this mod software, Dexifex. He was a beeping idiot, so good riddance. The world needs a lot less right-wing nut jobs. I'm just disappointed that the shooter didn't assassinate the toddler in chief and all his Nazis. USA, you know you got a Nazi infestation, right? Blah, 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 blah. Something more about calling them Nazis and going and killing the Nazis. No, so all of these came from Mastodon, with the exception of some of the last few that were posted over on his like Discord server thing. And there's more. There's like thousands more, and a whole bunch of these are from leaders in open source software. I mean, we saw stuff coming in from the head of the Elementary OS project, of course, retweeting a whole bunch of things, and all sorts of stuff. Red Hat employees, a guy from the Python Foundation. Like it's oh my God. The question on my mind right now is, I have several. I mean, obviously, these people are terrible. These people are awful. I mean, there's not a good way to put that. I mean, they're just the worst. These are legitimately bad people. What do we do with this? Where do we go? And I'm not talking about society in general, because you know what? As much as I have opinions about society in general and opinions about politics and whatever else, I know the tech industry. So let's laser focus this in right now. Let's just laser focus this in on big tech and open source and the computing world in general, just for a moment. Let's just focus on that. Within that, what the heck are we supposed to do? We're not talking about a handful of people. We're talking about a lot of people. Huge numbers of people who are regularly advocating for violence and murder of those that they disagree with. Many of these people have advocated for my murder. The editor of osnews.com has literally publicly stated that people should kill me. Not half joking, but I'm a Nazi and therefore must die. Am I a Nazi? No. But what am I? A conservative religious man. All of these people that we're showing here, at least most of them, I've seen them regularly advocating for violence against conservatives, Christians, Jews, Republicans, Trump voters, etc., centrists. The current highest ranking director, other than the executive director, because she's on her way out, of the EFF, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, like the cybersecurity director lady, she has been, over the last few years, advocating for people to commit violence, vandalism, and arson against people. She's encouraged people so far as to put out how-to guides on how to destroy and vandalize Tesla vehicles without getting caught by their camera and security systems. The editor of OS News and several other tech journalists have actively encouraged murdering people based on politics, and then the murders happen. Leaders of open source projects, founders, directors, executive directors, top-level developers, employees whose job it is to be the representative of both foundations and big tech companies like Red Hat here, have been out there regularly encouraging violence, laughing at murder of conservatives or Christians or Jews regularly. So if we've got this situation right now where so many people, including leadership, have been vocally advocating for murder and violence and assassinations and firebombing. I mean, they were just months back advocating for building Molotov cocktails and tossing it at people and moving cars. These same people, some of these same people, I covered that at the Lunduke Journal. It's crazy. What do we do about that? Now, I think I, like a lot of you, am a bit in the free speech extremism camp, right? Like, people should be able to express themselves, whatever their ideas, no matter how awful their ideas are. We want to allow them to express themselves. I don't want to be in the job. I don't want to have the role of censoring someone else because I don't like the things that they think and say. That's awful. I don't want them to be censoring me because they don't like the things I say. But the real situation we're in is we have real world consequences for the violence that these exact people have been advocating for relentlessly in increasing quantity and in increasing violence for years now. People are dead because of them. We're not talking about, oh, boo-hoo, there's a trans genocide because someone used the wrong pronoun, and if you use the wrong pronoun, that's literally genocide. We're not talking about that kind of violence. We're talking about real people dead, real people actually dying, murdered in cold blood. And it's not just one or two. I mean, go back over the last year or so. I mean, shoot, they tried to assassinate President Trump on the campaign trail. They shot and assassinated multiple interns working for, like, what was it, for like an Israeli related like think tank and whatnot. Like, there was all sorts of stuff. There's been one thing after another. So what do we do? As far as I see it, we only have a couple of options. One is we continue to stick to our free speech absolutism, right? We continue allowing them to preach the hate that they preach because we've been allowing it. We've been fine with it. We have. I mean, I've been covering it. I've been the only one in the whole friggin' tech journalism industry that's been covering this crap. Pardon my French. I'm upset. But otherwise, we've been allowing it. We've just been noticing it. We've been documenting it. We've been jotting it down and saying, okay, we think this is happening. We see what's going on and we don't like it, but we allow it. We allow them advocating for violence and hate and murder. And I see someone mentioning in the chat right now, because I'm live streaming this while I'm recording. I see someone mentioning in the chat right now that it's on both sides. And it's not. It's really not. The murders are all going, at least for the most part, in one direction. And when you hop over on Mastodon, or the Discord servers or the forums or the mailing lists of open source organizations, big tech companies, open source foundation, you never, not once, will find a right-leaning organization that is advocating for this sort of violence. Not one example, not one. However, I can go down a laundry list of big tech companies, big tech foundations, open source projects and organizations that have openly advocated for murder of conservatives, centrists, because they're too far right, they're basically Nazis, according to them, and Christians and Jews. It's all one-sided. Now, I don't personally care what someone's politics are. I have friends who are very, very leftist. I have one friend who I jokingly refer to as my commie buddy. He's a great guy, but his politics are stupid, and I tell him so. We've had conversations about it. It doesn't matter what someone's politics are. You don't do the things that these people are doing. You'll notice I'm not criticizing them for the politics of wanting higher taxes, or talking about the politics of ownership of property by the state. Like, we're not talking about that. What we're talking about is them advocating for murder, them promoting firebombing and violence. That's what we're talking about. And that's what cannot be allowed. And what's driving me up the wall is Red Hat allows it. IBM allows it. The Linux Foundation allows it. The GNOME Foundation, the Debian, all of them, they not only allow it, but in some cases, they encourage it and promote it. They are directly responsible for it. The deaths, they are at least partly to blame for them happening. So what do we do about it? It's a conversation we need to have. Because by allowing them to be completely free to speak their minds about all of this awfulness and advocate for the violence, it is allowing it to get worse. It is causing people to die. It is causing people to get kicked out of projects for being a centrist or a Christian or a Jew. It happens a lot. I've covered it on the Lunduke Journal for the last few years. And it's getting worse. It seemed like maybe there was a moment earlier this year where things could start to turn around a little bit. Donald Trump issued some executive orders. A few corporations started dialing back some of their DEI-related policies. But the hardcore leftists have doubled down. In fact, when IBM and Red Hat, after Donald Trump issued the executive orders basically saying you can't do business with the federal government and military agencies if you do DEI policies, after those executive orders, Red Hat and IBM said, okay, well, we're going to pull back those race-based hiring programs that the Lunduke Journal exposed to the world about 2 years back. Immediately after that, employees at Red Hat began organizing and advocating for violence. I covered this as well in depth, where they were advocating for murder, violence, vandalism, arson, Molotov cocktails, etc. And we are seeing the results of that happening. And those people at Red Hat were not fired. They were not punished. I have that from sources inside the corporation. Something has to happen. I mean, something has to happen. Because at a certain point, this is all just going to explode where it's way beyond where it is now. That's what they're pushing for. They're pushing for it. That's pretty bad. My recommendation at this point is when we see corporations, representatives from corporations and open source organizations doing this sort of thing, we have to speak out about it. At the very least that we can do, the minimum, is contact Red Hat and say, I see that your employees are not only advocating for violence regularly and advocating for censorship of conservatives regularly and pushing illegal DEI practices regularly, but now they're celebrating murder, political assassinations. Something needs to be done. We need to tell them. We need to specifically tell these corporations that we won't allow it. That they should stop it. Should Carol Herbst be fired? Of course. Of course Carol Herbst should be fired. No one should be forced to work around people that celebrate violence like this. At all. It's not okay. Anyway, go to lunduke.com. Check it all out. This is a hell of a day. My prayers are with Charlie Kirk and his family. I don't know what else I can say. It's awful. It's awful. And I'll be continuing to follow all of the horrible people throughout the tech industry that are glorifying violence, praising a murderer, and I'll just continue to shine a light on them because it's all I can think to do. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across the inner tubes, I do declare, end broadcast. Don't go anywhere, everybody. I'm still here. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I mean, what can you do? You know? Friggin' A. Friggin' A. Okay. All right. I can pull this together. We got a couple more shows we're going to do. And then I want to do a Q&A with all of you guys. By the way, I'm going to record, there's going to be 2 more shows where I say end broadcast. I'm not actually ending the broadcast. You guys are watching the live show, which means you're getting it. You're getting it without actually ending the broadcast. But, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. Just hang tight. Let me, I had to click a thing. All right. I clicked a thing. It's fine. The thing is clicked. Holy heavens, man. Let me bring this up here. All right, next up, let's look at, whew, jeez. No, you haven't missed the show. Nobody go anywhere. Nobody go anywhere. We're not done. We got 2 more things to do. We got 2 more friggin' things to do. Oh, man, I got to take a sip here. Talk amongst yourselves. Look at that beautiful CRT screen and talk amongst yourselves. I'm sorry I used a naughty word or 2, guys. I'm upset. Good God. We're doing it live. All right. We got a few things to go here. It has been a rough day. And my gosh, there's been so much stuff going on. All right, the next thing I want to talk, do we talk about the IBM absorbing Red Hat or the frack? Let's talk about the IBM one first, and then let's talk about the frack thing. Because that is a crazy news story. No, that's more screenshots of awful people. Yep, that's that. Oh, that's right. OpenSUSE removed Bcache FS. That's right. No. I don't got time for that story today. No, I don't got time for that story. Oh, jeez, there's a lot of stories. Criminy. Okay, keep scrolling. Get down here. Oh, you guys gotta see this. Hold on here. All right, you guys gotta see this here. Let me see if I've got this here. Let me where is this at? There we go. You guys see this? All right. Watch this. I'm gonna go. Wait. Let's scroll back here. Oh, he's almost doing. No. Oh, almost. What? No, he's not making it. Come on. Oh, man. Come on. Get to the corner. Come on. And everyone's on their feet. Anyway, I just love that. All right. Here we go. Let me scroll down here. We need not these, not those. Hold on. I posted this up on X earlier. Let me find that real quick. There are so many news stories going on. You guys noticed that I had, was it 6 or 7 news stories posted on Tuesday for the week, for Monday and Tuesday. It's too many news. There's too much going on. Oh, there's the Intifada. No. There we go. I want to cover this. This is interesting. This one is interesting. All right. Yeah. We're going to cover this. Let's modify the title of the thing. The title of the thing is IBM absorbing Red Hat. Yeah. And I mean, IBM already purchased Red Hat, but what's the right word for this? Because IBM is now folding Red Hat departments into IBM. What is the right word for that? Absorbing? It's like a blob sucking up all of that. Here we go. Let's go. Leaked email. IBM absorbing Red Hat. There, good enough. Absorb, right? It's absorbing, dissolving, assimilate. Assimilate is nice. Assimilate. That's the word. That's the word, you guys. Thank you. Hold on. IBM assimilate. Am I spelling that right? Hold on. Assimilate. I spelled it right. All right. You can't. You guys. All right. There we go. Thanks to leaked emails provided to the Lunduke Journal, you know that IBM is dismantling significant portions of Red Hat as predicted. Boom, that'll work. Make that a little bigger. Whoop, yep, right in there. No, too far. No. There we are. Nice. Beautiful. Marvelous. Oh yeah, okay, we'll just do it. Well, I can do it like that. That'll be a good way to go. That way you can read it all. All right. Again, I'm gonna do another show here. This one's not gonna be as long or as emotional as the previous one. And then when I finish that, the screen's gonna go black and I'm gonna say end broadcast. It won't actually end. The stream is gonna keep going, guys. So don't kill it at that point. You'll be real disappointed if you do, because we're gonna do a Q&A in just a minute. And we gotta talk about the frack story. Holy heavens, that story is crazy. All right, here we go. Oops, I hit the wrong button. I can make faces at the camera, guys. It's pretty cool. Thanks to a whistleblower with inside Red Hat, we have the email that the Red Hat CEO, Matt Hicks, sent out on September 3rd, so 1 week ago, to internal employees across all of Red Hat, letting them know that IBM, their corporate overlord since a few years back, would be fully assimilating significant portions of Red Hat. So Red Hat departments were going to cease being Red Hat. They were going to be dissolved, and those employees were going to be shifted over to IBM. Now, when IBM purchased Red Hat, so many people, including this guy over here, was like, you know what? The clock is ticking. You've got a couple of years before Red Hat ceases to exist pretty much entirely, other than as a brand, because that's what IBM does. Lotus 1, 2, 3. There's so many examples. If you go look at the carcasses, the picked clean carcasses of companies that IBM has purchased, Lotus 1, 2, 3, and just discards the bones of, it's a crazy, awful horror show of a landscape. And it was obvious that was going to happen with Red Hat too. There were so many people, in fact, most of the tech journalists who were shouting about what an exciting time this was because, Linux is finally big tech, and this is going to be the great future of us all. Okay, here's the deal. It was always going to be the end of Red Hat. Whether you like Red Hat or not, whether you love the weird political things Red Hat has done or not, it was going to be the end of the world's largest Linux company as it gets dissolved, just like Lotus 123, into IBM. So here's I'm going to read a few bits of this email from Matt Hicks from September 3rd. Again, thank you. Excuse me, I'm burping because I'm drinking cola right now. Thank you to the whistleblowers who provide these sorts of details, because if you didn't provide them to the Lunduke Journal, no one would ever see this stuff. No one would ever, all you would get is Wired and ZDNet regurgitating their press releases from IBM, and that would be the only details you would get. Luckily, we have all of you providing details, and by the way, I keep this all confidential. No one's ever going to find out who gives these emails and video clips and screenshots and everything to the Lunduke Journal. Keeps super secret. It goes into a lockbox, ladies and gentlemen. But without all of you guys, no one would see this stuff. So here's the email from Matt Hicks. Hi, all. How nice. Today, I'm sharing a significant and strategic evolution in Red Hat's operating model to accelerate our mission to be the enterprise open source AI and hybrid cloud leader. Oh, God. To be the enterprise open source AI and hybrid cloud leader. That I hate everything about that sentence. We are focusing our resources on what Red Hat does best, building innovative tech products, enabling our customers and partners to benefit from the unparalleled innovation and the advantage open source software enables, and engaging with our communities. To achieve this, okay, so bunch of random corporate mumbo jumbo that means nothing. Here we go. To achieve this, now here's the thing that they're actually doing that has nothing to do with all the words that came before it. To achieve this, we will be leveraging IBM's global scale and operational excellence even more and leaning into where we are stronger together. We can go further, faster, by working more closely with IBM. Okay, so you've buttered me up real good, and here comes the bad news. Effective in early 2026, several of our general and administrative teams will join IBM, meaning Red Hat teams going to IBM. Specifically, the majority of our finance, people, legal, and accounting teams, along with a portion of the IT team supporting those functions, will join IBM. At this point, we're talking about a pretty hefty portion of the entire company. So people, meaning everything HR related, finance, so everything financial, all of their legal teams, all of their accounting, all of it, and the IT teams that help those people out, which basically means all the internal IT help desk, etc. Boop, they're all going over, and they're going to be a part of IBM. The teams remaining at Red Hat will form a central strategy and operations group led by Mike Ferris. Marketing, sales, products, and engineering will not be affected. Okay, so they're just going to cut half the company out, and the few people that are left, they're going to lump into one group called strategy and operations. Why this structure? IBM excels at running complex global operations at scale. Yeah, I know you do. There's a weird history with that. And the move allows our G&A colleagues to plug into a world-class operational engine, one where we can benefit from tremendous synergies. And oh God, immediately they come to synergies. How will it work? The teams will continue to support Red Hat's business, meaning your day-to-day working relationships should remain largely the same in most countries. So instead of reporting to Red Hat people, you report to IBM people. The Red Hat teams are now IBM teams, and they're moving over to IBM. Red Hat is becoming less Red Hat and is becoming more IBM. This was always happening, and I guarantee you, 100%, this was the plan from the beginning, within the next year and a half or so, because, these sort of things take time. They'll do this round now, and they'll do another round next year, another round half a year after that. Significant portions of the other teams will also move to IBM. I guarantee you, guaranteed, another quarter of the company will move over to IBM within the next year to year and a half, right? Because once this is complete in early 2026, so early this next year, they'll be planning the next phase. That was obviously the goal. That was just how it was going to work. So congratulations to all Red Hatters who are now going to be working for Big Blue. You're now working for IBM. Oh, it's good times. It's good times for everybody. Thank you to the Lunduke Journal subscribers. Go to lunduke.com. You can watch and listen and read and everything all over there. All the links are on lunduke.com, and you love links. You love links, and you can't get enough. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across the inner tubes, I do declare, end broadcast. Don't stop. Don't keep watching. Don't turn it off. The live stream didn't end. We're still going. That's just what I say at the end of a recording, and you just watched a recording. This is what it's like behind the scenes. All Lunduke shows, I'll give you a little behind the scenes thing here. All Lunduke shows are one take. I only do one take, and I don't ever do edits. If I'm not ready to do a show, if I don't have enough grasp of the details to do a show in one take, I don't do a show. Not ever. No shows. That's everything. I see you in the chat rooms joking around about turning it off. Don't turn it off. I'm still going. I got another show to do, and we got to do a Q&A here. We got to do a Q&A today. Holy heavens indeed. Hold on a second. Let me pull something up here. Where's this at? Wait. Hold on. Wrong thing. There we go. So we made some changes at the Lunduke Journal over the last couple of weeks, and we want to make sure that all of the shows that I do and all the articles that I do are always free for everyone. And there's a couple of reasons that we made that change. So all videos, all audio podcasts, all articles are always free, right? So you go to lunduke.com, the top left-hand corner, right? So this top left-hand corner, every single one of those links, you can follow those and subscribe on those for free and get everything, right? And the reason for that is twofold. One is to make it so that we reach more people, because the reality is, like, if you've been watching all of this live stream so far, you've already seen that we talk about things that no other tech news outlet can talk about, right? It doesn't even matter if they want to or not. They can't, because they're supported by big tech. And if they say something against IBM or Red Hat or any company that IBM or Red Hat does business with, which is like everything, then they lose their marketing dollars and they go out of business like that. They're gone. So what that means is the stuff that I'm reporting on is more often than not, this is the only place that you'll hear about it. And so we want to get that out to a lot of people. Now, the good news is, like last month in August, we hit 9 million views during the month of August, or we're growing. I mean, we're talking millions and millions of people are starting to get the Lunduke Journal in one way or another. That's why we publish to so many different platforms, because we just want to make it easy for everyone. And we want to get out there. By making it free for everyone, it makes it more possible to get the news out there. And it's just, some of these things are just too important to put behind a paywall. I'm not inherently opposed to a paywall. I prefer things to be free for everyone if possible, right? But realistically, this isn't just entertainment stuff. I mean, this is all really important stuff. This isn't just us playing video games or us talking about retro computers, as much as those are really, really, really fun things. And occasionally we do just talk about retro computers, but it's too important to talk about this stuff. We need to get the news out there. So it all has to be free. But the second reason everything is free is to make it convenient for all of the subscribers. We did a test. We made some videos non-free, right? So the only subscribers got access to some of the videos. And you know what? We saw a spike in new subscriptions, which was great because it keeps the lights on here and keeps us from being funded by big tech. But there was a huge downside. It meant that people who subscribed on one platform couldn't easily view the same show on another platform. So like people would have a subscription on Locals or Substack, but then they went to their TV, which had a built-in YouTube app, and they wanted to watch the Lunduke Journal on their TV using their YouTube app. But they couldn't because it required a subscription, and they already had a subscription, but not through YouTube. And there's no way to tie all the darn things together, not even manually. And so it was just such a royal pain for people. And a lot of people were like, well, I like watching on Rumble, but subscribing on Substack. It was amazing how many people, I heard from dozens of people who were like, man, this not being able to watch your videos on any of the platforms really puts a damper in my ability to enjoy the Lunduke Journal. So it all has to be free. But what that means is that we are really reliant on all of you subscribing, right? So if you do not have a subscription to the Lunduke Journal, grab one. Grab a subscription because if all of you grab subscriptions, with the sheer massive number of free subscribers that are out there, I mean, it's way over 100,000 with millions and millions and millions of views, over 9 million views last month. We stay in business easy, like real easy, even with the cheapo subscriptions, man. So monthly, yearly, lifetime, they're all great. Go to lunduke.com. I originally set the goal of I wanted to make it so we had five subscriptions, 5 new subscribers during today's live stream. I think I'm going to stop talking about it now. I'm going to be done talking about it. I just don't have it in me to do a whole lot of subscriptions. But if you guys support what I do, if 5 of you grab a subscription of any kind, that would be great, because then it'll mean I have more subscriptions. And it means that it makes it so I don't have to do big sales or discounts or promotions or anything else, right? Grab a new subscription. They're monthly, yearly, lifetime, whatever. In fact, I have another reason I like to keep everything free is I have a number of subscribers who have grabbed lifetime subscriptions using Bitcoin because they want to stay anonymous and they don't want to create an account on Locals or YouTube or Patreon or X or any other platform. But they wanted to support the Lunduke Journal and they wanted to be able to enjoy the Lunduke Journal without having even a free account anywhere because they didn't want big tech tracking them. And I want to facilitate all that. So I've made it so people can get a lifetime subscription via Bitcoin, and then they send me an email, like from their anonymous Proton Mail account, and let me know, hey, I got a subscription to this. And what's great is I can say thank you to them. They can support the Lunduke Journal, have a subscription, right? And I can toss them an email with an invite code over to the forum because subscribers get access to the invite-only forum and all that. And literally, there's a couple of people that have accounts on the Lunduke Journal forum but refuse to get an account on YouTube or X or Substack or anywhere else, but they really wanted an account on my forum. So Bitcoin it is, right? So I keep everything free to make it possible for that to all work. All right. Let's move on to the frack story, because that's a big one. I'm going to go over here and we're going to go through the frack story. This is a crazy one. Oh man, the frack North Korea Proton Mail story is nuts. I'm just going to call it the frack North Korea and Proton Mail story. I'm just gonna call it that because it's a crazy story. It's really, really nuts. But I want to walk you guys through the details of it right now. It's bizarre. Hacker for the 1980s Zine frack gained access to a North Korean cyber espionage system, then got banned by Proton Mail. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a weird story. Oh, it's a weird story. Okay, let me close this up. Oh, this is a really, really wild one. All right, we're gonna do this story here. Let me move this over here. I had that a little uncentered. That's okay. That's okay. Oh my gosh, I've got so many stories coming out. You know what? I'm gonna let this one come out tomorrow. That one's gonna have to come out tomorrow. I'll post this one in the morning. So you guys are getting it early, dog. You guys are getting the story early. You know what's crazy? I am shelving, at least for the moment, so many stories right now. There are so many. I've got leaks coming in from. I've got a leak from Adobe as a follow up. You guys remember the Adobe leaks from earlier this year? I've got another leak coming in from an Adobe from another source. That's just nuts. I've got a story around Microsoft. No leak on that one. Just weird. I've got another open sourcey one. There's just crazy stuff. And holy heavens, crazy. So I'm shelving at least maybe even until Monday because there's just too much news. There's too much. There's too much. People gotta chill. It's just too much news. 10 stories all at once. Hey, you see that for a second there? The show blipped and farted for a second. You guys coming back? It says it's cool now. It says it's okay now. I'm gonna give it a second so everyone can filter on back in. Yeah, Dave. Too much news is clogging up the tubes. Whew. YouTube is trying to disconnect my stream, dog. Oh man. Oh holy heavens. I did a show, a radio show called hold on, called Coast to Coast AM. You guys know the old Art Bell show, Art Bell and George Norrie and all them. I did Coast to Coast AM. Back in audio out of sync. Refresh, and see if the audio is back. See if it comes back. So I did this Coast to Coast AM one, and my voice is out of sync. Several people are saying my voice is out of sync. Let me go like this. Did that help? Check. Refresh fixes sync issue. All right, everyone refresh if you're doing that. So anyway, I was doing Coast to Coast AM. And of course, Coast to Coast AM is very conspiracy theory, right? I mean, they talk about aliens and psychokinetic energy and, government surveillance. And, Robert says he called in when Kevin Mitnick was on that show. Nice. Anyway, it was a good show. I got to be on it twice. It was great. And while I was in the middle of the show and we were talking about, big tech surveillance and all sorts of stuff, boom, my power goes out. The host of the show loved it because I called in on my cell phone after that, and he's like, "You're kidding?" Because I was using my nice microphone and everything so that the sound was good, but I had to call in on the cell phone. I'm like, "Yeah, they took us out, man." There's no lightning or anything. They just boom. We got to silence Lunduke on this one. We can't let him know. That was going on to Coast to Coast AM was a bucket list moment for me. That was a good time. Okay, all right, here we go. I'm gonna do this one about the North Korea frack crazy story. Okay, here we go. Again, at the end of this, the screen will go black, and I will say, "End broadcast." Don't actually close at that point. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna do a Q&A after that. All right, here we go. Look at that. I can make a face. I can go like this. That's a good one, right? I just. a writer for Frack magazine. Well, Frack e-zine, the e-zine that's been around since 1980 something. It's like 40 years old. Frack with a PH. A writer for Frack has gained access to what he claims to be a North Korean cyber espionage computer system, has published an article around it along with a dump of information about it, and in response to that got his email accounts banned by Proton Mail, who then pulled back their banning, and it's utter chaos. The story is bizarre. I wanted to walk you through the details of what I've seen so far on this so you guys know the gist of the story, because it's fan-friggin-tastic. Again, this is with Frack e-zine, and here we go. I'm just going to read through what I understand to be the course of events. And this particular post over on X has been liked and whatnot by the people who wrote the particular article. So my assumption is I got things correct. That's my guess. Okay, so here's how it worked. So Frack, which again is a hackerzine, it's been around since the 80s. Someone commented, can you still download that via a BBS over Z modem? And man, memory unlocked on that one. I remember using, I think, Telemate and DOS over my my 2600 baud or 24. It was a 14.4 modem. It was a 14.4 modem, an external 14.4 US robotics modem. That's right. Using Telemate for DOS to download an issue of Frack, the e-zine, in text file format. I remember doing that when I was a much younger man. That was crazy. Anyway, so Frack appears to have gained access to the computers of Kimsuki. I think that's how it's pronounced. Kimsuki? Kimsuki is designated and sanctioned by the US government and other governments, I think Australia and a few others, as a cyber espionage group tied to the North Korea, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, right? So already the story is nuts. So in that hack, that breach, whatever you want to call it, Frack obtained passwords and account details, as well as a record of attacks against the South Korean government targets as part of the Kinsuki breach, right? And they've published all of it, right? Frack then contacted the South Korean Defense Counterintelligence Command with those details before publishing anything, right? They didn't publish anything publicly yet. They contacted the South Korean government first. They then proceeded to contact other South Korean agencies, including KR-CERT, the Korea Computer Emergency Response Team. Now, when Frack made these contacts, they used a Proton Mail email account. In fact, they used two different Proton Mail email accounts. After that contact was made, Frack then published an article at frack.org with links to the data dumps from the Kimsuki breach containing logs and screenshots and passwords. Apparently, supposedly, some of them were still valid and good at time of publication. I have not checked all those out. I have not. And that can be found over at frack.org. Shortly after the publication of that document, call it an article, call it a white paper, call it whatever you want, Proton Mail went in and disabled all the known email accounts associated with that story. Aha, right? Just straight up suspended those accounts. Now, Frack then turned around and accused Proton Mail of canceling journalists and suggested that they needed help, that Proton Mail needed help, quote, calibrating their moral compass. Spicy. Proton Mail, they then publicly stated that they were contacted by a CERT, the Computer Emergency Response Team. They did not say what government, just a Computer Emergency Response Team regarding the event, the hacking, the breach, the access of that North Korean system, which, due to the nature of the hacking, is technically a violation of Proton Mail's terms of service. Proton Mail then responded and followed up by saying that our team is now reviewing those cases individually to determine if any can be restored, end quote. Now, that all brings us up to date. I'm going to show you some screenshots in a second, but I have a lot of questions that remain. First of all, did a government specifically ask or demand that Proton Mail disable those email accounts, right? Or did Proton Mail do so on their own? That makes a big difference, right? Because if Proton Mail is, for lack of a better word, threatened into disabling some email accounts, that's a whole different story than Proton Mail learned about email accounts being used and disabled them, right? A second question. Which CERT, which computer emergency response team contacted Proton Mail? Many countries have those. A lot of countries have those. Assumedly, it was South Korea, right? As they are documented as having been contacted by FRAC, and no other computer emergency response team was contacted. So but that's just an assumption, right? It's an obvious assumption. I think I don't see how it could possibly be anyone other than South Korea's CERT, but it's an assumption, and that needs confirmation. And have any other governments or agencies responded to this by contacting Proton Mail or others? Did North Korea respond? Don't you want to know? I want to know. And of course, did the US respond? Did Germany respond? Did UK respond? I have questions. Also, what will be learned and what chaos might be caused from the data contained in the FRAC/Kimsuky breach? I'm highly, highly curious. So here's a couple of screenshots here. Now, this really all kicked off on June 16th. When the FRAC staff contacted the South Korean Defense Counterintelligence Command. And then in July, they informed the Computer Emergency Response Team. And then in August, they published the article, and Proton Mail disabled their email accounts. That's the general timeline here. I'm going to read just a little tiny snippet from the introduction of the article here. This article analyzes the dump of data from APT's workstation. In particular, the data and source code retrieved from the workstation belongs to threat actor actively targeting organizations in South Korea and Taiwan. We believe this to be a member of North Korea's Kimsuky group. Kimsuky is a North Korean state-backed advanced persistent threat, APT, that targets think tanks, industry, nuclear power operators, and government for espionage purposes. It is being designated pursuant to Executive Order 13687 for being an agency, instrumentality, or a controlled entity of the government of North Korea. We've referred to this particular member as Kim for the sake of this article. The dump includes many of Kimsuky's backdoors and their tools, as well as the internal documentation. It shows a glimpse how openly Kimsuky operates with other Chinese advanced persistent threats and shares their tools and techniques. And here's just a screenshot of the United States Treasury Department website that designated Kimsuky as a cyber espionage group. And of course, there's this exchange between the two organizations, between FRAC, Ezine, and Proton Mail. Hey, Proton Privacy, why are you canceling journalists and ghosting us? Need help calibrating your moral compass? First therapy session is for free. Smiley face and blowing a kiss. A little weird, but that's FRAC. Proton Mail responded, we are not ghosting you. We were alerted by a CERT that certain accounts were being misused by hackers in violation of Proton Mail's terms of service. This led to a cluster of accounts being disabled. Our team is now reviewing these cases individually to determine if any can be restored. They then turned around. And after that happened, they restored those email accounts. That has been confirmed. I've confirmed that with the author of the piece. Crazy news story. It'd be interesting to see what all comes out of this. I do have a lot of questions. I would love to hear some more answers from Proton. Not so much because I'm mad at Proton, though they did screw up a little bit here. but because I would like to know what agencies and governments contacted Proton. I would like to see that level of transparency from them. I feel like Proton being a Swiss hosting agency, they should be able to inform us. Was it the South Korean computer emergency response team? Was it contacts from North Korea? Did any contacts from North Korea contact them? Did any other country and organization contact them regarding this particular event? I want to know. I really want to know who was interested in this and wanted to know more, or wanted emails to be suspended, because that is in and of itself an interesting story. Thank you to the Lunduke Journal subscribers for making it possible to do this ridiculous work that the Lunduke Journal does. Really could not do it without you. Go to lunduke.com and subscribe. It's absolutely fantastic. You love it very much. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across the inner tubes, I do declare end broadcast. Don't go away. Don't go away. We are still doing stuff right now, don't you know? All right, we did 3 shows. Glorious. Oh, fantastic and glorious. Let's do a little Q&A. We deserve to have some Q&A time, I feel like. What do you guys think? Do we deserve Q&A time? I think we do. I'm going to take a quick pull from my drinky here, because I am thirsty as all get out. And while I do that, I'm going to check a little something here. Oops. And go ahead and ask me any questions you like in the chat wherever you're at. I have, through the power and amazingness of Rumble Studio. Oh, hold on. I got to type something real quick. There we go. All of your chats all come into one interface for me. So I should be able to see your chats, whether you're on Locals or YouTube or anywhere else, you know, and I should be able to see those everywhere. Oh my gosh, guys, boom, there we go. We got one new subscriber right there. Thank you for grabbing that subscription. Where's this at? Let me pull up my, oops, nope, that's the wrong thing. I got too many things open. Too many things are open now. Beautiful. All right. Whew, here we go. So ask me questions. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to drink. Because I'm thirsty. Maro asks, any particular reason you didn't use the face cam for a few videos? Several reasons, in fact. I was traveling for a little bit of that period of time and just wasn't set up to make it easy so it worked. And so I used that little picture and the little audio waveform and whatnot on it. That was most of it. And then I was planning on coming back and starting when I finished my travels and was back home. I was planning on restarting the live streams and kind of playing around with how I wanted that to look. And I just kept having new shows and just didn't have time to dial in any of the other video stuff. So that was all that was. It's not overly fancy, I know. Plus, I also was using it as a little bit of a test to see like what impact that had on what people liked and what shows people watched or listened to, and it didn't really have much of an impact. I like having the video turned on though, so I'm gonna leave it turned on. Windows, Unix, or Linux? Just as a question in general, Windows, Unix, or Linux? Unix or Linux, but you know, it all depends on the version, man. Like am I gonna choose a broken version of NetBSD or Windows 2000? Well, I'm gonna choose Windows 2000. Am I gonna choose a Linux Mint or Windows Millennium Edition? Well, I'm gonna choose Linux Mint. You know what I'm saying? I do like a lot of the really great Unix systems. I like HPUX an awful lot. HPUX with CDE running, it's just It's a beautiful, beautiful set, a beautiful thing, and not just because I used to work for Hewlett Packard in the long, long ago, like in the 1990s, but it was fantastic. Golden Trumpet asks, are you still using Open Mandriva as a daily driver? I've been liking it. I am absolutely using Open Mandriva as my daily driver, and it is fantastic. It is by far my favorite of all the systems that I could have in front of me at any given point. I'm really liking it. I really don't have any issues with it whatsoever. I've had no real problems with it. It's dialed in just how I like it. I'm sticking with Open Mandriva for now. There's some great systems out there, but I really like Open Mandriva. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of random good questions. When do we get the AI Lunduke model? On Lunduke all the time. There will be no AI model. I got to ask something lighthearted today. What is your record browser tab count? Oh man, I don't know. I don't usually have a whole lot of tabs open. If it gets to the point where my browser tabs, where I can't tell which tab is which, you know what I mean, where the tabs get so tiny you can just see like two letters. I don't like that. And so I usually, like, let's say right now there's 3 in that browser and 6 in that browser, and I consider that to be a bit too much. Personally, I like browsers open, no tabs at all. If I could have Brave running with no tabs, just a window with a page up, and then just have multiple windows to manage, just like 3 windows floating around, that's perfect. That to me is a better usability scenario. I prefer that. I don't really love the tabbed thing. It's not my deal. I don't like the tab thing all that much. I like cascading windows with no tabs. Any recommended email services? I go back and forth. I use Colab for most of mine and been pretty happy with them for quite some time. But I stopped short of recommending anyone in particular, but I have been pretty happy with Colab. Question, didn't you have your own operating system distro project? What happened to it? Yes, the Lunduke computer operating system, we got started on it. There was 2 or 3 people, 2 heavily and then another third, but spending some good time working on it, and it was a lot of fun, but what it really, timing wise, it was an issue, because as work was cranking along with that, we realized there's a couple of good Linux distributions out there that were already filling the need of what I wanted to accomplish. And what I wanted to accomplish was making a nice Linux distribution, a nice Linux OS that was free of politics, right? That wasn't filled with woke, weird politics. And we've got that now. In fact, we've got multiple versions of that now. We've got Open Mandriva, we've got Ghost BSD, we've got Omarchi, we've got these different ones coming up, and there's going to be more added to the list later this month when I do my next non-woke software, doing that great non-woke work out there. Don asks, I thought you were officially promoting Hannah Montana Linux. I was, my bad. Spartan says that he has had 10,400 tabs before. That's insane. That's insane. You're a crazy man. I couldn't do it. I had on my Android phone many years back, I had so many, tabs in their little weird square, whatever tab interface thing that it made me mad. At that point, I just had to format and reflash my ROM from scratch because I couldn't deal with it anymore. It was too crazy. I can't handle that many tabs. I can't do it. It's Yuck Fest. It's Yuck Fest 5000 plus a little bit. Vertical tabs are life-changing. No, I can't do the vertical tabs thing. It's not my bag. I don't love the vertical tabs. It's just, I don't love it. I haven't been a big fan of vertical tabs like in ever. I can't do it. I can't do it. KMI says I cap out at 40 tabs. I can't, man. I seriously, if I could go no tabs, that's the way for me. No tabs at all. No tabs, bring back an old web browser toolbar and I'm done. I want my web browser to look like, I don't know, Netscape prior to the invention of tabs. That's living for me. But I really like that early 90s to mid 90s UI style. I really just, maybe it's my age, but that's where I'm in my happy place. One browser per workspace. You know, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with having several virtual workspaces and one browser window in each. Great. Love it. Love it. I can handle that. Just start up another PC with the browser. Yeah, see, I can absolutely do that one. Totally do that one. Hey, did you guys know that across the platforms, and I was curious how many people were going to tune in because I haven't been doing these for a while, and there's so much other news going on, that 1,685 people have tuned in to this live stream today. Not bad. Not too shabby. I wasn't sure. You know, I knew several hundred of you would show up for sure, but 1,685 so far. Not too gosh darned friggin' shabby. I love it. What do we got here? Windows 7. MP says Windows 7 UI was and still is the best experience for me ever. Windows 7 ain't bad from a UI perspective. I mean, I'm not a Windows 7 fan. I'm not gonna lie, but again, you know, when I was at Microsoft, it was the end of the 90s, early 2000s. And so maybe it's just nostalgia, maybe it's what I worked on, but that's kind of, for me, that was the best it got. You know, Windows NT4, NT5 or Windows 2000. I felt like that was the best. I really liked that line. That was a lot of fun. It was stable, it was fast, it was lean, or at least as lean as Windows got for a while. And I really liked those systems. They worked really well for me. Though I'm going to be honest with you, I like Windows 3.1, and I truly do. A Raven chimes in, Windows 3.1. Yes, I really agree with that. So my daughter and I, we both got those. You remember, like about 2 years back or so, someone made those little netbook sized palm top 386 laptops. They were 386 SX16s, and just, you know, powered by a little compact flash card for the hard drive, and they had a little AdLib sound chip in it, the AdLib compatible sound chip in it, and I got one for me and one for my daughter. In fact, my daughter uses that as her primary computer. That's her computer, is an old 386 SX16 running MS-DOS 6.0 and Windows 3.1. And it's great because as a dad, I can give her all of the best stuff from when I was a teenager. You know, and all the best games. She can play some of the best adventure games and some of the best role-playing games, and she can play the original Warcraft and all these other things. And I don't have to worry about her going online on the internet and doing anything weird because the internet's gross. That's gross, right? And so I don't have to worry about censoring her. In fact, I have a general deal with her. If she can find a way to get onto the internet with that 386 SX, she can do whatever she wants. Good luck, kiddo. So she's just like, yeah, that's not going to happen. She looked into it a little bit, but you know, what is she going to do? Oh, Golden Trumpet, the HP 100LX can run Windows 3.0 and DOS on AA batteries. Those little palm tops are amazing. They have a CGA type screen. They're beautiful, monochrome, but just fantastic. They're actually running, and a lot of people don't realize this is even a processor, an 8186 processor right? Not an 8088 or an 8086 or an 8286, an 8186 processor is in those little HP Palm Tops from the early 90s. And yeah, you can run DOS and Windows 3.0 on them, not 3.1, just 3.0. It's just really fantastic. I highly recommend those little things if you can get your hands on them. Great little Palm Tops. Runs on a two double A's. But yeah, my daughter and I both have these old 386s, and I plug in PS2 a PS2 keyboard and a PS2 mouse. For both of us, we each have PS2 keyboard and mouse in our 386s, and we have a little VGA breakout board on it, so we can sit down and plug in a nice big monitor via VGA, and we can have a beautiful little 386. It's only an SX16, so it's not the fastest in the world, but shoot, it's pretty good, right? It's especially fast because it doesn't have a floppy drive or a hard drive. It's all flash memory. So the read speeds are crazy fast. So it's a lot faster than the 386s that you and I remember using. So I run Windows 3.1 on there, and it's phenomenal. It's really quite a nice experience. I recommend it as an experience. It's enjoyable. It truly is. I can't recommend it enough. XET7 says, do you have any Amiga hardware for running bare metal OS like Amiga OS, Morphos, or Eros? I don't. And this has been on my list for years now. I am a huge fan of Amiga hardware and Amiga software, and I've never had an Amiga. I've run the Amiga Research Operating System on non-Amiga hardware, but I've never had Amiga hardware. And I've never run stock Amiga OS on my own computer. I've really wanted one, but I've never had one. The same is true with Atari ST. I've always wanted to get like a Falcon, an Atari ST Falcon. I've really wanted one, or, oh, even better yet, a Stacy. The ST Book or the Stacy, the Atari ST laptops. Oh, man, I've always wanted one. One day I'll make that happen. Those are just tons and tons of fun. Duff asks, do you have a favorite point and click adventure? I've got a couple. I love point and click adventures. In fact, I've been slowly developing my own for years now. If you've seen all my comic strips, it's that same art. I have full animation of me walking around and everything else. But my favorite point and click adventures, realistically, of all time, do you guys remember Loom? Loom was great because it was so unique in the magic and the music notes and everything like that. I thought it was really quite cool. But I had a personal love for Conquest of the Longbow was great. Day of the Tentacle and Maniac Mansion, of course, are epic. The Dig. I think I loved the Space Quest games, but the King's Quest games, I mean, I played them all up through King's Quest 6, but they were never my favorites. Like, I really had a soft spot, though, for those LucasArts adventure games. Zach McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders was glorious. Oh, the EGA Zach McCracken is one of my favorites. Day of the Tentacle, of course, is just amazing. The Monkey Island games were truly phenomenal. I mean, all of those were really great games. But I think the LucasArts adventures really got me. Full Throttle was even fun. Like the LucasArts adventures I really liked, other than the Space Quest games. The Space Quest games always really got me. I really liked Space Quest 4. Space Quest 4 was fun because it moved the Space Quest series from the standard text input that you had in 1, 2, and 3 and moved it over to the mouse and toolbar and click the speech icon and things like that, and was all voice acted. And it was voice acted by the narrator was Gary Owens from Laugh-In. You remember Laugh-In, the announcer from Laugh-In? He was the narrator for Space Quest 4, and I just thought his delivery was genius, and it was so much fun to play that game. I can't recommend it enough. It was really really good. Duff says my family was a Quest for Glory family. Great games. The Quest for Glory series is phenomenal, man. Can't recommend it enough. Leisure Suit Larry, okay, it's great, but my kid's not old enough yet. I mean, it's funny. I was so much younger than my oldest when I played the first Leisure Suit Larry, right? And the second Leisure Suit Larry. But I don't let my kid play it. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. When they get a little bit older, I'll introduce them to all the other things like that. Steven asks, "Hi Brian, any idea when the BBS will be fixed?" No, I don't. My hope is very, very soon. So here's the thing with the BBS. I've played around with several different setups now. And I've settled on two different setups that I've really liked for my BBS. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the House of Lunduke BBS, it's a DOS-based BBS, and I tried really hard to keep it DOS-based. And so there was two ways to really allow it to run DOS-based BBS software via Telnet using a large number of possible connection nodes with DOS-based door games, right? So I could do Trade Wars and Legend of the Red Dragon and all that really, really straight. But the two ways I've got to do that have presented me with some serious problems. The first way to do it was I had a Linux server, and I used a lot of DOS emulator, which allowed me to essentially use the equivalent of a fossil driver to direct Telnet connections incoming of various ports using a customized script to accept Telnet connections and pass them off to DOS-EMU and then load the BBS software. But that was buggy and caused me all sorts of problems, and things hung regularly, and it was just a real nightmare to maintain. The other option, and because I'm using, remember, DOS-based software here, is that I have to run 32-bit version of Windows. So meaning I got to go back to like Windows 2000 or Windows Server 2003, the 32-bit versions, in order to run the DOS-based software in such a way where I can accept the incoming Telnet connections and pass them off to the DOS-based BBS software and the DOS door games. The problem is getting a hosting company that's willing to host Windows 2000 servers. That's been a real problem. And so that's been a real issue for running that DOS-based BBS, a bulletin board system. And so the one hosting service I was using decided they didn't want to do it anymore, right? Now, I wasn't having any security issues because I locked that server down. The only thing that was open on it was an up-to-date VNC server and the BBS itself. Everything else was locked down. No other ports were open, nothing. It never got hacked, but they felt like it could get hacked because it's so out of date. And so they didn't want to support it going forward. So I've still got the images of all of it, but I don't have a Windows 2000 server set up that I can run myself yet. My thought though is I'd like to get a small, quiet 32-bit Windows server that's capable of running Windows 2000 well with a nice little Ethernet port or something that I can run and host it myself, but I haven't done that yet. So it's just, there's so many other things I need to do, and that's an expense that I got to justify to the wife and all yada 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 yada. At some point, I'll get it done. The more people that subscribe, the quicker that gets done. But I can't justify the expenditure and the time for it at the moment. It'll happen. It'll happen. I love having the BBS up and running. I find it tons of fun. What about reverse engineering those BBS applications and re-implementing them in something that can be scalable and secure? That sounds great. Do that. Yeah, of course, that'd be great. We thought about there's multiple modern BBS packages, Mystic, Synchronet, a couple others. that you can run on Linux and modern systems. And they have scripting systems built into it, so you could really program these sorts of games in Python or scriptable BBS systems and all these sorts of things. But it's a lot of work, you know. And there's something beautiful about running the same DOS binaries that we had in 1991. You know what I mean? There's something beautiful about that. And I like to be able to have that. Do I use C89? C89 is a solid version of C. I'm in general a fan of C. All the different incarnations and whatnot. I'm generally a fan of C. Dude, recode the BBS door games in Rust. Oh, man. What if you run BBS on OS2? If I could run the BBS on OS2, that absolutely would work. It's the same problem that I have with running it under Windows 2000, though, is I still need to host it, because I've been having a problem finding a hosting provider that provides me with good quality VPS or dedicated hardware or whatever, and at the same time is okay with wildly out of date software. Right? That will support what I need to do. But yes, OS2 would actually work, especially if I ran it under like a 32-bit OS2 Warp 4 or even Warp 3 or something like that. I could make it work. Yeah, I had to take a drink. Beautiful. All right, let's see if any subscriptions have come in. We're sitting at 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5. I didn't really push it that hard. That's okay. That's okay. I'll just send out an email. Hey, everybody, how come you didn't subscribe today? Yeah, we're just sitting at 1 still. At least that I know of. Nice shirt, Igor says. Why, thank you very much. Got this at Costco for $11. See, a great dad shirt has many different qualities. One, if it's all cotton, loving it. If it's got the good dad design, loving it. And if I got it cheap, loving it even more. This shirt, it's a trifecta. Become a member, folks. We do have a great time here. You are absolutely right. Acts 1341. We do have a great time around here. Thank you guys for allowing me to do the live stream again, by the way, for hanging out with me while I did this. How many people jumped in so far? 1,745 people have jumped into the live stream thus far, coming and going, back and forth, but over 1,700 of them total. And that's truly fantastic. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. A good first go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do these regularly going forward, in a large part because I want to. And if I'm recording these shows and we have so many stories hitting every day, why not do a little Q&A, have a little hangout time, and talk a bit while we're doing these various things here. Check super chats, please. Oh, okay. That's right. I forgot about super chats. I forgot that was a thing. Hold on. Bringing up the super chats. Bringing up the super chats. I forgot that super chats was a thing. Super chats. Where the heck is that thing? I think I click over here. You have to pardon me for a second. I'm trying to load up the thingamadoodle. Oh, there's the thingamadoodle. Here we go. That's not what I needed. How about this one? Now you can turn on. Okay. Great. Happy about that. That's not it either. Is that the button? Well, where in the heck of tarnations do I have? All right, what if I'm over here? What if I'm doing this? I'm trying to find it, guys. I'm trying to find it. How about there? Is it down there? Robert Stratton, $10 from Robert Stratton says, FYI, Schweikert introduced the Scam Farms Marquee and Reprisal Authorization Act of 2025 in the House. I need to look into that. All right, how do I load this up? Friggin' A. Come on. Supers. Wait. There it is. Aha! I found it. Okay, here we go. I found the thingies right now. Okay. All right, Network 23 says, admire your work. I'm going to read the super chats now. Admire your work. All the best. Loving Omarchi plus Arch. Year of the non-woke desktop. Couldn't say it better myself, my friend. Commodore Fan 64 says, are you ever going to do merch like stickers? I guess. I haven't thought about it, but some people like stickers. Should I do stickers? Let me know. Commodore Fan 64 also says, I can't remember if I've asked before over on Side Scrollers, but what's your thoughts on the future of Solus Linux? They seem to be fairly neutral. Solus goes back and forth. Leadership of Solus changes like the wind. I'm not even sure who's running Solus right now. They move around a lot. I haven't heard from them in a while, so I can't say for sure in any particular direction. I'll check in with them. Hank asks, what bribe does it require to have regular live streams, regular supporter live streams? What bribe does it require? Well, you know what I think? What bribe it requires? Nothing. We're going to do it. We're going to do these. Now, how regularly we'll do them will depend. We're definitely doing these every week. I think what the plan is right now is we'll do these at least 2 times this next week, over the next week, other than today. That way, we'll kind of get a feel for it. My life, now that the summer's over, all my traveling is behind me, and the school year has started. My life has become very scheduled, right? All the kids are in activities, and I drive them around to different activities throughout the day. So I have a very rigid schedule, but I have lots of time in that schedule for writing and recording stuff. So I just need to figure out what I want in order to schedule all that sort of thing. Right now, I'm thinking Wednesdays might be a great time for a firm schedule lineup. I'm thinking maybe Mondays and Wednesdays might be my de factos. I'm also looking at a few earlier in the days, like a Thursday mornings. We're kind of playing around with it. We'll see what fits right and what makes sense. There's certainly enough shows to do. Basically every day. Do you guys see how many shows I've done so far this year? We're well over 200. If this week sets a precedent for the remaining weeks of the year, we'll have more shows this year than days. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, you guys. Brace, hold on to your butts, because we're now at 2 out of 5. You know what? Let's get 3 more subscriptions in. Let's do it. Three more subscriptions. Thank you, Hank. Thanks for joining up. Grab them in. grab a subscription. Go to lunduke.com. Scroll down. Here, where's the thing? Where's the thing? Hold on. I got to find the thing. And there's the thing. Go to lunduke.com and scroll down. You can get Locals, Substack, X, YouTube, or Patreon, or do Lifetime. If I can make a suggestion, my personal preference, YouTube is great. But if you want to be tied into a lot of the easy to give perks, like some of the PDF ebooks and some of the chat things, go with the Substack or Locals. Substack or Locals are just the easiest. Like, they're the easiest for you, the easiest for me, they're the easiest. But X, YouTube, and Patreon are also great if you just want to grab a monthly subscription. That Lifetime deal, Look at that sucker. I love the lifetimes. I know it's a bit more, but it's for life. And if you got some Bitcoin sitting in your pocket, you can grab a lifetime subscription with Bitcoin. So just go to lunduke.com, pick one. Pick one. Pick anyone you want. Let's see if we can get this up over 5. Monthlies, yearlies, lifetimes. I don't know. Igor says, you only count the lifetime ones? Because I subscribed monthly just during the stream. No, I'm counting all of them. Here, hold on a second. It might not have updated. Let me look, Igor. Let me look. Do. Where did you grab a thing? Where did you grab a thing? It depends on where you grabbed it. I might not be seeing it on X or YouTube yet. They kind of lag a little bit. X and YouTube, like I don't have the X in front of me, and YouTube lags a bit when it does the thing. So if you grabbed it on YouTube, I just haven't seen it. Anton's gonna unsubscribe so that he can get us to 5 out of 5 subscriptions. Thank you. I think. Maybe that's not 100% necessary. Oh my gosh. We got another one. Hold on. What do we got this? What is that? Is that Sean? Sean just grabbed one. Hold on. We're up to 3. We're going to make it to 5, baby. Yeah, baby. We're going to make it to 5. I know it. All right. Where are we at over here? Or can I check some of those things on YouTube's? Act says that you're a lifetimer. Thank you for being a lifetimer, Act. I really dig the lifetime thing. And this is not to like pressure all of you to do the lifetime thing. I just wish from a personal standpoint that more outlets did a lifetime subscription thing. Like how cool would it be if like, I don't know, like, you know, like Netflix came up with a thing and like you pay us this once and then you have a subscription for life. And I know why they don't. I understand the business reasons why that's stupid. I get it. I just want it for myself. Do you know what I mean? Like that's really why I keep the lifetime thing going, is because I like that for myself. Like if I could go to X and say I want to have an X blue check subscription and I just want to pay you once and I'll pay you a big amount right now and I'm just done. I never have to pay you again. How nice is that? Just so I never have to think about it. So I never have to worry about, did my credit card expire? Am I using the right card for this? Or if I'm locking or unlocking a card because I don't want, like, I'm traveling, I don't want to get like lost or fraud or anything. Like I don't have to worry about stuff. Like I can just do it once and be done. I love that. I like that. That's why I offer the lifetime thing. That's really why. I've been told repeatedly that the lifetime subscription is dumb. Like for me as a business runner, because realistically, that means that, you know, when people become a subscriber to the Lunduke Journal, they stay subscribers, right? They don't leave. You know, so really, and for me, it like makes more monetary sense for people to become a monthly subscriber, because then they don't get the yearly subscription discount or the lifetime subscription discount, and they're going to hang out for more than 2 years. So it's the best for me if they just stay monthly. But I don't know. I like having the lifetime thing. It's just kind of nice. Captain Anarchy says, Lunduke, please be safe out there. Seems the lefty folks are really taking stuff to a new level of crazy here lately. Praying for you, man. Yeah, gosh, man. I tell you, things are nuts. I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't at all worried. I mean, a lot of you guys know I get a fair number of death threats, a lot, and it's not new. Like I used to talk about them more because they were more novel, but it's just gotten to be so common that, you know, and there's almost never anything that can be done about it, because usually those threats come in from like a Proton Mail account. They're almost always Proton Mail accounts, the throwaway Proton Mail accounts. That's what they mostly come in as. And I'll pass them along to law enforcement. At this point, I have friends that are in federal law enforcement that I've kind of gotten to know through the show and my articles and whatnot, and I'll pass them along to them, and they'll say, "Great," but and the police will have them, but there's not much to be done, unless the person gives some identifiable information. There's not a whole lot that can be done. This goes all the way back to my days of living in Portland, Oregon, when Rose City Antifa, they were literally sending me pictures or screenshots of Google Maps where they had traced out the path that I took to walk my kid to school. And they told me flat out they were going to kill me, right? I sent that to the police. There was nothing that they could do because it was a throwaway Proton Mail account. And we contacted Proton Mail, and because of Proton Mail's policies, they didn't have any information to provide. So there was nothing to give. There was no leads to follow up. It was just a threat that appeared, and I just had to live with it. And so we had to just find ways to be safe. When I've had to cancel numerous events because if I showed up, the event wouldn't be safe. Because whatchamacallit, the event that was in Austin, the South by Southwest event, that I was going to be speaking there at earlier this year, they sent us in emails with statements that they made it clear that they knew where I was going to be at what time, because I was speaking at a venue. They're like, here's the venue, here's the map of it, we know where you'll be, watch your back, we're gonna kill you. So I had to pull out of the event, because if I was there, I was then putting everyone else in harm's way. It's not just me, risking my life to go, speak at a conference, but it was also just really, really putting everyone else at risk. So I had to pull out of that. So, I mean, it sucks. It really sucks that that's a thing that happens. Just a second. Um, but yeah, crazy times, crazy times. It looks like the Rumble is having some difficulties right now. So maybe we're hit. I think we hit the 2 hour mark. I think that's what it is. As soon as you hit the 2 hour mark, it all starts closing down. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out. And I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys for hanging out and being part of what we do and making this doable. Thank you to all the subscribers for subscribing. You guys are absolutely awesome. If you haven't grabbed a subscription yet, grab a subscription. And actually, looks like a few more are coming in. Hey, all right. Did we hit 5? 1, 2, 3. We're at 4. Oh, we got 5 right there. Well, we got 4. So you know what? I'm pretty close enough. I'm pretty happy about that. I really appreciate all you guys. Yeah, you're truly the best. Luckily, I am safe. Just you guys are all know I live in a very safe town, and a town that is very much not filled with lefties. I live in a very, very right-leaning town, and a lot of people have my back here, and it's a very, very safe place, and I feel very safe. I live in a very safe way, in a very safe place, surrounded by people who protect me, and we all protect each other. It's very nice. So I'm okay. You don't need to worry about me. Does mean though that I can't do a lot of traveling to various conferences, but what can you do, I'm gonna head out. This was fantastic. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna do more of these. There's gonna be 2 scheduled over the next week. I'll try and let you guys know a little bit ahead of time as they, yes, Jeff, there are still right-leaning towns. My town is so right-leaning. Holy heavens, is it right-leaning? I live in a red state in a red town. I live in a town that's more red than most of the state, and my state's pretty doggone red. And surrounded by gators. But thank you everyone for hanging out. Thank you for all the support. I really, really couldn't do this without you guys. That's not just like me blowing smoke, you know? That really is just a legitimate practical thing. This is not doable without the support of a lot of people. And well, doggone it, you guys have stepped up. Just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. So with that said, I'm going to head out now. Thank you guys, everybody. I will be letting you know on all the various platforms that I exist when the next one will be scheduled for, and we'll get in a dial in a really going to go now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds and nerdettes across the inner tubes, I do declare, end broadcast.